Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN with your faves, Azem, and to my left, my lovely co-host and producer, Jade Gwenny Gwen, Idita CPL Martha Stuart Johnson, who is barely here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, yeah, it's Friday, June 24th.
It should be a public holiday, Azim.
It should be a public holiday, Jade?
Yes. I forget, my eyes closed, you know? Today needs to be a public holiday, man. This is ridiculous.
What is happening, Jade? Why would you say that?
They tell us go music fest.
They told us to go to Music Fest, yes. And we went, and then what?
And it finished 5 o'clock.
So how, yeah.
Which means...
Obviously, we weren't expected to go to work today, right?
It cannot be. Cannot be, Azim. It's a public holiday, we just say, you know.
How we just did, you know. Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody dropped the ball. Could we make this an election topic? Could make it an election topic, Jade.
How to get them to turn the day after music festival into a public holiday?
No, we as the people demand.
Let me come on up them people who get rid of bill. Them they let them know to do a good protest.
Them just get things done.
Them days what I need on my side right now for this public holiday, because as in this is ridiculous.
I'm telling you, no. Normally I wear shades.
And I forget mine.
I wear shades on the show, but this morning I must say they're probably necessary.
Yeah.
I think the term is bloodshot. It feels as though there are millions of tiny little pebbles rolling around under my eyelids, and every time I blink, they scratch my pupils.
Listen.
And like, yo.
This is going to be a rough. If y'all see me doze off anytime, please just don't screenshot me and make me into a sticker. That's all I'm asking for y'all, because I know y'all very rude in this country. If y'all see me just happen to doze off, don't make me a sticker.
Don't make your sticker.
That's all I just asking.
Nobody wants to be the main character of Sing It, you know.
Especially since this is not our fault. This is not our fault. Ain't nowhere they should allow us to reach home at 5 o'clock. For work 7 o'clock.
Jade, I tell you got to learn the trick, you know. Just don't go sleep.
Oh, okay.
Bye. Hold up. Let's set this up. But I know we're gonna do a full review as we get into the show. Of course, today is Friday, guys, so you know we are waiting for our regional link up with our friends there in Antigua at on Observer Radio. And that's
morning.
Hey, there we go. Good morning, Darren. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. TGIF to both of you, well, to everybody. I see our special guest is waiting to, I don't even know what to say. He's waiting to defend his position. He has a big smile on his face. Peter, good morning. How is
Morning,
South Grenada this morning?
morning. Well, Grenada is lovely actually. It's
Yes.
uh, it's a beautiful morning.
Uh-huh.
There were parties, of course, last night. They had a special, what Grenadians call Old Mass. I don't know if y'all are familiar. I think Antiguans do Old Mass as well. So they of course they made a mess of Keith Mitchell. I mean, they had to. So there were caricatures and stuff like
Mm.
that. So they had a party last night.
That's
And I think that people are settled down this morning, and the work begins today. So
the work begins today. All right. Jade, Azem, either of you have a question for Peter? I don't mind if you guys have first dibs. I've invited the listeners here to suggest questions because I know a lot of them have questions for Peter.
I could imagine. I guess the most pressing question is what would have led from
to this,
what would have led to a result like we're seeing
yeah,
come out of the most recent election after we would have seen the convincing victory that Keith Mitchell would have put down in the previous election. What could have been the reason for such a at least apparent swing
yeah.
in the minds of the electorate?
Well, I think that's a question that I'm happy to address, but I think probably the burning thing on people's minds is the extent to which I was able to see it, because I was very clear in my mind, and certainly speaking to you guys before, I was strident that while I did see a swing against the NDC and NP, I didn't see a swing of this magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
I was anticipating a swing in the vicinity of 5%. The swing was actually 11%, which is basically twice what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so to some extent, it was a surprise. There's no question. I mean, clearly there was a momentum during the election campaign that I did not anticipate, and people on the ground didn't anticipate, because there were a lot of people here who were in shock. I mean, I was on a panel last night with 3 supporters of the NDC, and quietly they were surprised too. So it was almost like the Donald Trump election all over again. Um, what
Uh-huh.
causes it? And I mean, I can get into some of the polling and stuff later if you guys want. But what causes it? I think I think it was an exhaustion with Keith Mitchell. Um, I think that a lot of the reasons why the NDC did so badly over the years was because the NDC had no clear leadership options. I had expressed the view that Peter David was the person who seemed most likely to be able to lead the NDC properly. Peter David was put out in 2013, and he's now one of the few remaining members of parliament in the NNP side. But they weren't able to come up with anything. So there was a conversation between Tillman Thomas and Nazim Burke that people weren't buying. That government collapsed, and the rest is history. So what I think the NDC has done is that they have come with fresh, new talent, identify an alternative. People are excited, and they're ready to go off to the polls. The old conversation that Grenadians were having since this conversation was going on since the 1970s, and it was the same faces that were part of the revolutionary, whether you were pro-revolution or anti-revolution, that was the conversation. That conversation ended last night, and Grenadians now have a leader who was 5 years old when the revolution occurred, had nothing to do with anything, and ultimately I think that the conversation will take a new place. And I think that they have turned their back on Keith Mitchell, who largely was there because there was really no one else that caught their interest. I think it has implications for Antigua as well as St. Kitts and Nevis. I have long been arguing a point which the UPP supporters hate to hear, that they need to do something similar, in that they need to find somebody new and fresh that can energize the organization. And I think having the same old conversation isn't going anywhere. But every time I say that, they get upset with me, and they cuss Darren and they cuss me for in getting involved in the business. But I think that what the NDC has demonstrated now is that there really is a better way, and that there's a role for new talent within a political organization. And I really wish Deacon Mitchell all the best. There are naysayers that suggest he's going to have a rough time. So we have to see when he forms the cabinet, if he avoids the characters of the past. And I think that once he does that, he should be pretty much okay. Implications for St. Kitts and Nevis too, but that one is something I'm still trying to mull over in my mind.
Okay, so let me start with the questions from some of our listeners. Peter, question for Wickham: does he think that this is a resounding response to the abuse/mismanagement of the government of the COVID-19 situation? And is this a warning to all other regional governments of what is to come in their neck of the woods when their respective elections are called? I suppose that would be I think we're next up, right? When I say
Yeah.
we, as in St. Kitts and Antigua.
Think it's yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree that this had anything to do with COVID. And I mean I had looked at some data when we had done polling here during the COVID pandemic, and the government was given a 7 in Grenada. So the COVID rating in terms of the handling of COVID in Grenada was actually higher. St. Kitts was one of the highest, and I have said this before that St. Kitts, Cayman Islands were among the top two. Grenada was slightly behind with 7. Barbados also had a 7 or something like that. So I don't think that Grenadians had an issue with how COVID was managed, and the vaccine uptake in Grenada was quite good. So I don't think it had anything to do with COVID. I am firmly in the view that this was the first post-COVID election that you can really reflect on. The economy is in a mess, largely because of the escalating price of oil, the low salary rates here in Grenada. Salaries in Grenada are lower than would be in Antigua and also in St. Kitts. I think St. Kitts is at the top of the tier as far as OECS salaries are concerned. So there's a lot of suffering here, but it's a conversation that takes place where people seem to feel that the suffering that they experience is unique to them and it's the responsibility of the government. And this is the same thing I was saying in relation to Antigua. You have to be very careful in terms of the ability of the UPP to sell this argument that the suffering that Antiguans are facing at the pump is unique and special and because of Gaston Brown. I think that partially a lot of Grenadians were convinced last night that this situation was the responsibility of Keith Mitchell, and this is the reason why he should be dismissed because somebody sells you hope that things can be better, but guess what? The price of oil is not gone anywhere, and the new leader is going to have to deal with that reality in the same way that the old leader did.
Wow.
Wow, fascinating. Fascinating. Azam?
Well, I mean, what I'm hearing is that the feeling is that this particular election was really an indictment on Keith Mitchell's leadership as opposed to any one particular issue um, so, that we're facing the people of Grenada. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's a reasonable assessment. I think the problems that people have with that argument is to say, how is it that people are only now having a problem with him? Because less than 5 years ago, you gave him all the seats, so clearly you didn't have a problem with it. My feeling it wasn't that they didn't have a problem; it's just they didn't have an alternative. And I think that what they had now is an alternative. So I agree that probably 90% or 99% of this he has to wear on his shoulders as the person that essentially brought them to where they are today. Notwithstanding that fact, he shares a lot in common with Denzel Douglas in that he has been an extremely successful leader. He won all the seats 3 times. I think that he managed Grenada through some fairly turbulent times, and he has been, he is one of the political juggernauts in the region. Denzel Douglas is one of those people. But there's a adage that a businessman in Bastyr taught me once that when you're on one of these highways in the West and you miss the exit, is all hell to pay. And I think that is essentially what has come back. I have repeated that statement that the gentleman told me on several occasions because I think that that's what haunts Denzel Douglas, and I think that is what essentially brought Keith Mitchell to his knees. No, I only hope that after this, he takes the message and he says, look, I need to exit. And we don't see him attempting to rebuild the party in a different image or something like that going forward.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. All right, let's see. Darren, ask your friends in St. Kitts why no artist from. Oh, okay, that's a music festival question. I'm sorry, I should have read that question before I read it out loud. We'll talk about that another time. Okay, this is a question for Peter. Peter, who is most likely to emerge as PM after the upcoming election in St. Kitts Nevis if no one party wins an outright majority of the seats?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. My expectation is that in St. Kitts and Nevis, one party will an outright majority of seats. I do feel that the prime minister has to come from St. Kitts and not Nevis. So you're looking at one of 3 people on the mainland. And I think that of those 3, one of them will win more seats than the other. And I think that a negotiation can start from that point. But normally in our system, the prime minister remains prime minister until such time as a new prime minister is agreed upon. So if there's a situation after the election where there is a negotiation, Timothy Harris remains prime minister until such time as a majority of parliamentarians can agree on an alternative. The reality is that that also gives him substantial bargaining power because if he remains in the job while the negotiation is going on, he may very well have some level of advantage for that regard. But I do feel that petitions, I don't think that petitions can support with this one. I think that they will choose decisively and send a signal
Mm-hmm.
regarding what they're looking for.
Right. How's the campaign going, Jade, Azam? Or y'all studying St. Kitts Music Festival and not politics?
That
As
was
in,
make
when I say
late.
y'all, as in St.
It is
Politicians generally.
it is hard to not pay attention to the politics that's happening, the campaigns that are
Indeed.
going on. We are just thankful for this slight reprieve known as the Sengis Music Festival. Um, but I think the campaigns are we're definitely heavy in campaign mode. I think what is what people are really waiting for is the announcement of the date. There's a lot of speculation that that will come next week after the high of the music festival. And I believe that some of the political parties have definitely kind of taken this week, recognizing that people are going to focus on the festival to kind of I guess put plans in place for what is undoubtedly the final dash to the finish line, I would say. And so I suspect that from next week we're going to be seeing a real a marked ramp up in rallies, in public meetings, in activities. And of course, all of that is of course going to be sparked by, like I said, the pending announcement of the date, which people seem to be really just kind of waiting to see. It's going to be everybody's placed their bets. The pools are filled, and so we're just now waiting for the announcement.
Let me come back to Peter. Peter, when was your most recent poll in Grenada? Before yesterday.
No, we did a national. We've been polling here quite frequently, yeah. And I would say that about just over a month ago, we had done a fairly substantial national poll, and it definitely showed that there was a swing away from the NDC. It also showed that Dickon Mitchell had gained considerable interest. It was around that time, and I presume it was coincidental that the Prime Minister decided to call the election. And to me, I think that that was a wise decision because it was fairly clear that there was a momentum that was being gained. And if he waited for much longer, he probably would have been in a worse situation than he was. So I think that quite rightly he pressed the button. In the course of the election campaign, we only polled two constituencies, and one of those constituencies was that of Dickon Mitchell, and it showed that he was leading decisively. I should point out that he wasn't leading decisively before, so clearly there was something going on. And the other constituency that we polled showed that there was a substantial swing against the NNP in that one, and there was a lead, a marginal lead there that had materialized that wasn't there before. So I would say that the polling within the context of the election campaign was spot on, and that it showed that there was a momentum. The problem is that I didn't go back into the field in the vast majority of constituencies. So I wasn't able to see all of this. So I was stuck in this idea that we're looking at a 5% swing based on the fact that the pre-election, momentum that I had captured had registered that.
Right.
I had said, and certainly it was Grenada in 2008, I had made a decision that I would always tell my clients that, the shelf life on a poll is a maximum of 30 days. And the reality is that if you want more contemporary information, you need to go. Clearly, that has held up because there was a lot that happened in that election over the past month that I certainly have been able to capture.
Okay. So because I must tell you, at least I'll say it publicly, that last night the first set of my contacts who reached out to me
Mm-hmm.
were all within the UPP. All.
Yeah.
Because of course they were there's I don't know if you want to call it a love relationship, but your friends in the UPP are not too happy with you for all kinds of reasons, and so
But
they were
I
quick
don't know
to
why.
say, "Hey,
That I got it wrong.
Peter got it wrong." So,
Well,
so how would you respond to your critics who will say, "Hey, you got this one wrong"?
maybe you could say to them that I got it right because maybe if they did to level what the NDC did to Nazim Burke, they would also be in a better position when the election was called. So I don't think that they should be too concerned about my advice because I think that what happened last night proves that the advice I've been giving them in terms of dismissing Harold Lovell. It seems to be good advice based on the fact that I was saying the same thing here in Grenada, and Dickon Mitchell won. As far as my polling is concerned, the UPP don't have to worry if they don't like my polls. Don't commission them. I think it's pretty simple. There's other agencies. There's Johnson, the guy that bet $10,000 that Timothy Harris will lose the last election. You have Kasuro that was very clear that the UPP would have won the last election. So, they have options. And as I said, if they don't like the science, then they're welcome to. I would remind them, however, that there was a
Okay.
time that they were loving the Cadres poll, but that's how life goes.
Yeah, 2004, 2009, I think it was, or in the lead up to. Let me
Oh
ask
yes.
you, the Deacon Mitchell, tell us a little bit about him. What have you learned about him? Because he's somewhat of an unknown quantity to many here in Antigua. I know when I had two journalists on from Grenada, they too didn't seem to know a whole lot about him. They just, this young leader, we don't know much about him, he trying a thing. They've gone through a few leaders. So they really didn't seem to have much confidence that he was going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think that that's still very much the case because I don't really know that a lot of people know anything about him. But the guy joined the NDC 2 years ago. A year ago, he declared himself a candidate for the leadership. He won, and now he's prime minister. So I don't really know. There's a lot to know, but he's a lawyer. Apparently, he's a fairly bright guy, which is pretty obvious. He's not the master orator that either Keith Mitchell is or any of the predecessors, but he speaks reasonably well enough to hold a conversation. He has a relatively clean reputation and doesn't appear to have any political baggage because he wasn't part of the political conversation. He's a successful lawyer and had dealt a lot with the citizenship by investment thing. He brushed off criticisms that he was being funded by that entity, to say that he wasn't. And the conversation never went any further. But this is one of the cleanest elections that we have had in Antigua, in Grenada. There was no mudslinging. There was no talk about thieving and corruption and whatnot. There was none of that. He essentially focused on an issue which said, look, I can provide you an opportunity for change. And people bought it. So I don't think a lot of people know him very well, quite frankly. And already this morning, I'm hearing rumors about negotiations with the old guard to see who he can bring back and that kind of thing. And I really hope that he understands the power that he has today and he stays clear of that whole conversation with old guard and whatnot. Because I think what our election said last night is that Grenadians are willing to move in a new direction, even if it means investing in a highly unknown quantity. And I think he still remains very much of a mystery to this day.
To what extent was the pension issue a big deal in the campaign? This pension issue that where there was I characterize it as a schism. Pre-revolution, during the revolution, post-revolution, where some folks' pensions were just decimated or not honored or whatever the case may be. To what extent was that an issue in the campaign?
I think it was an issue for some, and the other thing is that a lot of the older people in Grenada are more inclined towards the NNP. So I don't know whether some of the older people who would have been inclined towards the NNP were inclined to stay away or withhold their vote on the basis of that. So I think that would probably have been something that irritated a lot of people. But I would say that's one small thing. The other thing is that the voter turnout was down. I came here yesterday and people were talking. It's down. Yeah, it was down. Yeah, it's down over 2018. People were saying, there was these long lines and, people coming out to vote in the new government. Absolute nonsense. There were long lines because of the COVID peculiarities. People were probably managing the lines more slowly than before. but less people voted. And my sense is that, as in Barbados in 2013 and United States in 2012, I think a lot of people voted, sorry, 2014. A lot of people who would have voted for the NNP stayed at home for reasons best known to themselves. And, it would have made an impact in many of these marginal areas that we saw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good morning, Darren. People are just fed up with these ruling parties that think God has gifted them these islands to do what they want and please with. People power. Antigua, wake up. Is that what do you think of that sentiment?
But that is what people seem to be suggesting, that the message really to the UPP is a fairly strong one in Antigua. What I'm concerned about, though, is how do we spin this message in terms of St. Kitts and Nevis? I mean, who are really the old guard and who are the young Turks in St. Kitts and Nevis?
Precisely.
I don't know if the panel is in a position to suggest how we can.
I think that is that dynamic is difficult to assess, because I don't know if you could say, well, one party, you have persons across the field who have been involved in politics, in elected to parliament for quite some time in all of the parties. All the parties would have had new candidates coming out. So it's difficult to say, like you say, who is the old guard and who the new Turks coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a fair. I think that the Denzel Douglas factor is similar to the Keith Mitchell factor, but the extent to which Kittitians are convinced that Denzel Douglas is no longer a factor within the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, I think will be a challenge for a lot of people going forward. And I think that that's really the one major hurdle they face. Is Dr. Drew representative of a new, fresh image for the Labour Party, or alternatively, is the party still being hamstrung by Denzel Douglas? The challenge for me always is that when you say that as an analyst, people assume that I have a problem with Denzel Douglas. I have a problem with Harold Lovell. I had a problem with Keith Mitchell. I don't think anyone has ever said that, but that can be the interpretation, as opposed to saying that it is an enlightened position that acknowledges that leaders like Lester Bird, leaders like Denzel Douglas, leaders like Keith Mitchell make an outstanding contribution for our time. Then there comes a point where they need to move on. And I don't understand, quite frankly, why it is that within the Caribbean we have not developed this tradition of leaders coming, serving, and moving on and making space so that the party can be regenerated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the lesson in all of this. There comes a time you had to move on. Nelson Mandela, he came, he served, and he left. And I think he was probably the first African leader that did it. In the Caribbean, we had PJ Patterson. Up to now, PJ is the only person that properly retired after serving a period of time in office.
Guys, I have to take my leave because we have our in-studio guest is here. And I know many across Antigua, Barbuda, and further afield are looking forward to hearing her, Claudette C.P. Peters. Certainly a very well-known quantity here in Antigua and around the region, certainly in St. Kitts.
CP.
So we have to go. The technical director has given me my margin. But you guys can continue with Peter if, I'm sure you all have some questions for him.
All right, but we also have an agenda that we have to kind of get into. But Peter, we really do appreciate it, man.
So we're breaking up the party.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
But guys, it was good chatting with
All
you.
right, Peter, thank you so
I look
much.
forward to next intervention.
Yes.
Okay, take care.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Take care. Azem, Jade, Azem, bye-bye. Have a
See
good
you
weekend.
later.
Bye-bye. And
y'all have to tell me why there are no Antiguan artists in St. Kitts.
We asking the same.
According to the listener, we want to know.
We asking the same thing, but I will tell you this: there are many Antiguans here for the music festival. I saw a bunch of them running around.
I know that.
A few on the head top, maybe a few 630s and split in the middles. But it's definitely a huge Antigua presence. Yeah.
What happens in Bastia and Keon and wherever it should remain in St. Kitts. Bye.
Bye. Take care, man.
Bye, Peter. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, Jade. But definitely on that note. Well, firstly, I must say that as much as I was expecting there to be a swing in the in the seats are distributed in Grenada,
didn't expect this?
I didn't expect
Boy,
this.
I don't even think the people who was in charge expected this. Imagine you wake up
But let me tell you
and
something.
find out that you lose your majority.
Let me tell you something, yo. I say it already and I can say it again. Whenever we have the election, I have no idea what the outcome gonna be. But I can tell you,
Somebody can ball.
some people can ball, yo. Long water can ball.
What?
Some people, watch it, Jade.
The joke gonna be over.
Let me tell you. Water will spring forth.
Oh yes.
Spring forth.
In the name of the Lord.
I am telling you now. The day after election, I don't tell you now. When I don't vote, I gonna sleep. I ain't watching no. I ain't stand up to watch nobody commentary. I just want to wake up in the morning and know where do I go to see the tears. I didn't even want to see the party and the jump up or whatever. I want to go where the people bawling, because I can tell you something, right? Of course, in every election, you're going to have persons who have different views on what the outcome is going to be.
Of course.
But I am getting so many different ideas of what the outcome is going to be. And these people seem to be so entrenched in their beliefs, right? That Jade, somebody obviously going to be proven wrong.
Well,
and I don't want to know what the vibe is going to be for them people there when they realize that all they thought. Let me tell you something, right?
Yikes.
Election time for me highlights delusion all over. There's some people, some are delusional.
Very much so too.
I must say that I've been clear. I have no idea what's going to happen, right? But there are some things I know will not happen.
Yeah, and some people giving parties all seats and stuff like. Have you been following what's been happening in St. Kitts? Did you just get here? Ain't nowhere happening.
But let me tell you something, right?
Nowhere. For sure.
But it is. I heard a friend of mine said this just this week. I think it was Tuesday night. He said, Bawachi, delusion and confidence live in the same house here.
Bye.
Delusion and confidence live in the same house. And there's some people who live right in there with them. Take up the Bawachi. I don't know if it's just for silly season or what, but they seem like they're moving. The house where delusion and confidence live, but they move right in there.
Bye. Well, let them have it. Let the people enjoy themselves.
Paying rent. Right? But I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
All I know.
But I can
We're
tell
gonna
you,
hear the cries.
weeping and gnashing of teeth.
It's going to be a rough day for some of y'all. Not gonna lie.
Why?
A very rough day for some of y'all.
But yeah, I don't see the memes gonna be ridiculous on that day. Yeah. Jed, let me ask you a question. Speaking of memes. You saw this video? Are people tried to sneak in the music festival last night? You see that video?
No.
My idea say what somebody mother no? What somebody father? I'm telling you.
But let me see.
Let me show you what going on here. Because at first I couldn't believe I was.
Why would they do that?
You gotta go to this thing, you know?
Why would you even do that?
But it. No. Nope.
What? I know they're climbing up.
Yes, Jade.
So that he should have stick. So what again? What? Now it's Spider-Man.
But no, she had. Hold me back. Hold me purse. I don't even know what to say.
It is never that serious. That's the first thing you should say. It is never that serious.
Gotcha.
No,
If
you
they
literally
if they
on
find
camera,
them,
you know.
If they find them, they should make them VIP right up on stage for everybody to see. That is what they should do. When they catch you trying to sneak into the thing, say, oh, welcome to our VIP program. You came in the VIP entrance. No problem. Let's take you straight to the stage. That's what they need to do, Jade.
Oh dear.
That is what you need to do. You have to reward. Sometimes you have to reward people's ignorance, you know.
You should.
Yeah, you don't always have to punish it. Sometimes you have to reward it. You understand? But yeah, I mean, of course, the reason why half of the population this morning is walking around
Zombified.
zombified, seemingly on E.
Seemingly.
Watch here. Jade, this morning we driving here, my gas like, come on. There's some people right about now, the gas light coming on in their body,
You mean me, no?
aka sleep.
As in,
Gonna just the sleep indicator gonna just lock on like, hey, you need this.
that's
You
why I
need
tell you, you know, if y'all see me doze off accidentally, I can't even say I don't record me because I recorded myself. Just don't make me a sticker.
Bye.
Please.
I don't know, bye. But what was your general takeaways from last night?
Music festival?
Yeah, what was your takeaways?
Oh. It was fun, nice little time. It was fun. The only problem I had with music festival is that nobody on the committee advocated for today being a holiday.
That's the main
That is
issue.
ridiculous.
That's the main issue. Okay, I like that.
Because when y'all guys doing this,
Yeah.
we have to work today after going home at 7 in the morning. Y'all want people to get ready for work for 8? That is ridiculous. And y'all don't care about us. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They would never do this.
I understand. So we had last night was a night filled mainly with soca. You know,
Yes.
Thursdays traditionally the jump up night.
Somebody bring me some Epsom salt, please.
I don't tell you, you're supposed to get it there
Please,
waiting for
I
you.
know, please, Lord, somebody, for me to get to the rest of this weekend, I just need some Epsom salt. But it's so, yeah, man, soca was vibesy. Soca was vibesy.
So we had
And Massacre.
yeah, and then Massacre was fitting there just for the, apparently he was speaking to the gangsters them. No any gangsters is in kids. I was like, brother, you know, baby. You know, baby. We don't breed them here. But we nice, we got a piece on right now.
Yeah, man.
But what happened was the night started out with EBJ Harmonics, the Steel Pan Orchestra, which I thought was a good vibe.
Yeah, man.
to
A good
start out
addition
on.
to the festival.
Yeah, and then you had Ruckus shelling as usual.
Boy, I was watching Lucas last night, right?
I can't even do the screaming thing what he does though.
Bro, where he does find his energy?
I can't tell you. Ruckus is the one person who went last night and this morning normal. Normal at work this morning, like no problem.
Lucas has an insane amount of energy. I think.
Yeah, I think he work with battery. Maybe that's what's going on.
No, that is not battery. That is solar power.
So
Because battery does die.
he just keep charging.
Listen, I watch the man slide across the stage, spin one. I said, how Lucas guy? How one man have all this energy bottled into him? I need some.
Then, of course, the most concerned, respectful band in the federation came on next. Small Axe. Apparently, there was a lot of concern about a puppy that was dropped. Mr. World seemed genuinely concerned. You dropped the puppy.
And something about whiskey as well.
No, yeah, I think what happened was, you know what it is? I think Mr. World actually just has a real cure for animals.
Yeah.
For animals,
I see it too.
Yeah. Something about don't giving the cat more whiskey.
Yeah.
He already had too much or something along them lines.
Something so.
Something
But
along
I'm
them
happy that he's an animal advocate.
lines. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Peter should make him a spokesperson.
An ambassador.
Yes, indeed. After like my masters came on, Ruckus back.
Listen,
Again.
energy again. That's a lot of time. Lucas do this back to back and ain't miss a beat. Ain't miss a beat, you know?
Yeah, they turn it up. And then from there we had a few regional acts, lyrical. Watch it, all the people taking lyrical from here. No.
You're in good company.
Watch it.
I mean, I'm going to see that.
Watch it, bearded Rasta man. Look, me and he literally have pictures together. Like we got pictures together from like different shows.
That was it.
He'd post them and he thing. And it'll be like, oh yeah, I see me twin again. But yeah, lyrical came out. Then you had Nadia Batson, and voice. And let me tell you something, Nadia, as much as
Bro, she's
Sass,
so fine. Oh my God. She's ridiculous, you know? She
yeah,
I can tell who is the other fine one.
yeah.
And I saw her close to close. I mean, face to face, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
you
But
see Chanel Moore?
who?
Have you seen Chanel Moore?
Yes.
Oh my God. And she has one dimple? Oh my God. She's ridiculous, man. Sorry, I saw a comment that someone made here, and I think they clearly fell asleep. Because I remember that's just singing Lucy. Do you not remember?
Yes, of course. That's just sang Lucy.
So what he talking about?
Yes,
Gavin,
yes.
I feel like you fell asleep.
Destra
during that
definitely
segment.
sang Lucy.
She definitely.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I know she sang Lucy because there was a girl next to me who apparently felt that this song was about her.
Well, you know.
She was feeling the song like it was about her.
She grew up as a real good girl.
She grew up as a real good girl.
Always
home,
home.
don't go nowhere.
I understand.
But yeah, so then so Nadia Batson voice came on as well. Oh, before I also want to big up Nadia, Sass, which was, used to be a full female band. It wasn't a full female band that was here, but she had 3 female musicians. I always just want to big them up too. I feel like we need more touring female thing. I know it's difficult, and it's difficult, like for women sometimes to make the sacrifices that's necessary to live like a touring life.
Yeah, man.
So I always big them up. Anyway, man, I ain't going to about it, because the drummer just
Do something for you?
no, she's just so good. She's just so good, right? That was something I said. No,
Yeah,
I'm
because
speaking about her musicianship.
That's fine.
But and then voice came on, mashed down the place again, and then of course you had Queen of Bacchanal coming on, and I do believe Destra is one of like the Caribbean's premier performers.
Easily too. Easily.
Yeah,
Massacre did a really good job too.
Massacre.
I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised.
All right. So people enjoyed Massacre,
Mm-hmm.
and I know there were people there who you could tell their whole purpose for being there that night was to hear Massacre.
Yeah.
Right?
I know somebody specifically
Yeah, who like that?
who only went because Massacre.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Whatever your reason is, once you were there.
No, I think one of the things is people gonna have the acts that appeal to them, right? The goal is though that even if you may not be there specifically for one particular act, that the acts all put on a good show, so you do get a good experience overall. And I think last night fell into that category. The performances I think were really good. Even if there was somebody there who you maybe wasn't generally a fan of, I think you left being a fan for a lot of the artists.
You know who I forgot is genuinely nice?
Me?
Popcorn. No, not your friend. Mingalay, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Had a brief little conversation.
Oh.
Got a nice little hug. He mini, but you know.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is his entourage was moving like I was gonna pick him up and put him in my pocket. Like.
Yeah.
What gonna do it? What gonna do it, Papa?
Papi.
I literally step forward. They step forward to like, whoa, listen, let's not do this up here in front of company, please. Please. Okay? I know I enemy, but don't do that.
But that's one of the things that's interesting about this particular festival too. A lot of the artists have had to be here for quite some time already because of the flights. Right?
And Krista Famati was here last night enjoying the show as well.
Yeah.
And as I said, Chanel Moore, she went to Kayan High School actually yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Wow, all the girls over there lost their mind. All the kids over there was losing their mind as them. Which is questionable because we are listening to Chanel Moore. But
Come on, Jade.
understandable.
Come on, Jade. Like,
Understandable. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that's one thing that is one thing that does still weird me out, eh? Like, the fact that we just play certain music around children, they ain't got to go look for it, Jade. Like, we playing it.
Yeah, man.
Like, we the adults, like, I hear some songs in some chants, and the children just peeping out the window, like,
Singing it word for word too.
bah, I mean.
I tell you one time
chains excite me. Sorry.
One time I was going home and I was passing convent school and I was in there singing WAP. Is WAP? I think it's WAP.
No, it wasn't
what did I tell you?
Throat Baby.
Yes.
Throat Baby was the
I
song.
was like, did he just go here? You? 'Cause I could hear you. Y'all ain't singing soft. So the teachers, because what is this happening?
The teachers don't know the song. That's what going on.
As they didn't need to know the song.
But they're not
All they
listening.
needed
They're just hearing melody. They're thinking, oh, what is
well,
that?
clearly, because I could have heard the lyrics.
So what is that? Oh, is that a new old McDonald's?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then of course at the end you had rounding out the night the Vikings.
I couldn't make it down to the Vikings, boy.
Yeah, the Vikings. So Fayan and thing. Yeah, after this, stray bus off. Come with the business.
I couldn't go no more as him. I had to work. I had to go set up for the show. If I didn't go home, there would be no show as him. I had to go home and put the show together.
I suppose. I get a message from Jade. All night Jade didn't take me on here. Jade messaged me once.
But I watch you all night, eh?
You say I still believe
As
you
in,
watching
you was
some.
in full black under the production tent in the back, in the middle.
Oh.
You was under there with Joe, Fons, Kevin.
Okay. It might have been me. It might have been me.
It might, okay.
It might have been me. Right? But then again, Jade, anybody who knows me could rattle that off the top of the head. Everybody know? Oh, he ain't been all black under the production tent.
No.
Okay. But Jade didn't take me on all night. You know, when Jade messaged me about 3 o'clock in the morning talking about, see the lineup for the show here.
Made him all of that.
I said, Jade.
I just send you a link.
I said, Jade get messaging me and be like, as a man, you having a rough night, but don't come in tomorrow. I'll hold it down by myself.
Now, why would I do that?
If this is a music fest review.
Yeah, man. That's fine.
Good morning, caller. You're live on ILNT.
Hey, good morning to you both. How are you doing right now?
Morning, Jade.
We're tired.
But well.
You're tired. You jumped a lot last night.
I don't know about the jumping thing.
I have not jumped since 93, miss.
All right. What I wanted to ask, really, how was the attendance last night? I don't know if you all dealt with it before, because I tuned in late. At late, so I can't really tune in from the beginning. How was the attendance last night? And do you think if you're going to tell me that it was super well attended, do you think it has anything to do with persons not going out to a festivity like this for the past 2 years? So regardless to what they're going to turn up, and it has nothing really to do with the lineup of the artists, because even if they didn't bring anybody who persons really didn't want to see, persons still would have gone out. What do you think? I listen.
All right, thanks, caller. I believe it was a good lineup. I believe that first, I think it was well attended. In my opinion, there were actually there was actually VIPs that were sold out and stuff days in advance. So we knew the attendance. We could expect, based on ticket sales and stuff, that attendance was going to be good. Yeah. I think also one of the things that I find interesting is there are a lot of people who are using this opportunity to come home, right? So it's
Definitely.
not. There's a lot of persons who I have not seen on the island. Some of them even prior to COVID, who would have just used this opportunity to come home. Some stuff going on. I have cousins, family members that have not been here since prior to COVID, and they wanted to come home, and they say, well, I'll come home at Music Fest time.
It's a good time.
Yeah, so that is a big factor as well. But I think the lineup was good. I think it's a good lineup.
It is an amazing lineup.
Throughout the thing. But I also believe that yes, people have been longing for the fest.
Yeah.
I think people missed Music Festival, and they welcomed it back with open arms last night.
Last night was looking crazy. Tonight, even crazier, I suspect.
I'm afraid for Saturday.
Bye.
I'm afraid for Saturday.
I just want to hear Berries, I just want to hear Uncle Berries.
Wait a minute.
What he said? What, comrades?
Family ball out.
Oh,
in the Labour meeting.
Everybody was like, no.
But that was so funny, yeah.
Why we can't? You see how I don't like political parties taking over phrases and words?
But the thing
Why
is,
you have experiment to say what he does say all the time?
Just enjoy the music, man.
I take things to literal. Ketty only went up on stage, go say good night. Good night,
PLP. Let me see your hands, man. Not a hand.
The man only asked a question.
Not a hand.
Well, then clearly he got his answer. Listen, stop take all the phrases and make them on your own. Ain't so you work.
Nah, yeah.
Ain't so you work. I realized somebody on the left said I just realized I'm cute. I don't have to be offended or not.
Somebody said they just realized you're cute.
Yeah, let me scroll back to it.
Let's go again here.
They said, hold on.
Wow, Jade is about this thing.
Bye. They said, good morning. Well, maybe I wasn't paying that much attention before, but Jade is actually really, really cute. I feel offended, Mingale.
Well, no, this is what I think. I think you should be encouraged, because if today, when you claim to be so tired and had a rough night and all of that, that is when people recognize
it. That's true, you know.
That yeah.
Suppose I see me dress up.
But bam.
Problems in here.
It'll be problems in my phone.
Bailey, that girl wanna do the show with you, right? That girl wanna do the show with you. You can link me up behind you.
Like, why you sound like that? That's the first thing. Why you sound like that? Like, why
you think I got like that? You sound like that.
Oh man.
Somebody saying it's stupid that they didn't they did live coverage for the music fest but didn't go live. Why would they go live at a show that I have to pay
what?
for?
You can't.
Ma'am, do you know what the music festival is?
You can't charge people, like, in some cases, $200 to go in and then just stream it for free.
Like what?
Well, not free, but, you know, the live streaming thing. No, I think the model, some festivals could do that, but they've operated on a totally different model.
Speaking of how they operate, and something I saw yesterday. What's wrong with Echo?
You know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me read it. So it's a press release from yesterday. Okay, the phone wants on, but the Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO, Inc., is a society of writers and publishers of music. Through reciprocal agreements with collective management organization, CMOs, throughout the world, also called societies, ECHO represents and can license virtually the whole worldwide repertoire of copyright music for public performance. During the St. Kitts Music Festival press conference held today, which was yesterday, at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel, the chair of the festival committee, Mr. Damian Hobson, stated in response to a question regarding licensing fee, every year we pay ECHO the license fee, so that is not an issue. We wish to say... Sorry. We wish to state that the St. Kitts Music Festival has not yet settled its balance. Sorry. For 2019 and has yet to conclude the licensing agreement for this year's event that starts today. At the point of the statement, ECHO representatives have not been granted access to monitor the 2022 performances. The failure to pay the 2019 Music Festival license fee has meant that the rights holders of the music works performed at the music festival have not received their royalties for the event. Royalty distribution is based on the receipt of the licensing fee. Other major events held in the OECS that are licensed by ECHO with ease, kind of shady, are as follows. WCMF Dominica, St. Lucia Jazz Festival.
That's the World Creole Music Festival.
Okay. St. Lucia Jazz Festival, Mercury Beach, St. Lucia, Lucian Carnival, and Vincy Mass. ECHO wishes to inform the public, right holders, and other stakeholders that we will continue to do what is necessary to protect the music gift.
So what's your feeling?
Like, they didn't have to put this out. They could have just dealt with this through whatever means, like lawyers and...
No, but they've been trying to deal with it, Jade.
Oh,
I think...
So now he's name them and shame them?
No, but they weren't the one who asked the question. If the question come up in the press conference and the impression given is, yeah, we're going to deal with it. So if they lie about publicly, you respond to it publicly? Especially if since 2019 you've been trying to get them, they never. In other words, this is 2022. If since 2019, they ain't said nothing all this time. Since 2019, they're trying to do their job. They obviously till now they ain't get work according to the release. And then you're gonna come out and be like, oh, we always pay them.
Like, the man said he always pay them, not that he don't pay them.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is since 2018 would have been the last time they would have been compliant. So yeah, like I don't have issue to release. If you're gonna if you're gonna go out, I'd literally say give the impression. Give the impression that like
Your bill settle.
I'll like it's everything on the up and up as it relates to
Up and up.
yeah, like yeah, I have no issue. And like this is a serious thing. It's serious. Like I don't normally talk about it, right? I don't normally talk about it, but I mean, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how people like keep these events and don't pay the license. Like I literally have been at events where, like in Trinidad, CAT comes with the injunction. Like tell you,
Look at that.
yeah, police come say, boss, they ain't pay the license. Yeah. Promoter gotta go outside, settle up whatever they settle up. The police come back in and be like, okay, yeah, that's yeah, music come on. DJ, yeah, let's go. like it'll weird me out. Like I don't understand like why they always feel like St. Kitts just so backwards bad. I'm tired of it, man. Like we just always seem so backward, and I just don't understand. Like I don't understand. The thing what does bother me with the music festival in particular, I like the fact that this is something that we're dealing with the music festival in particular, is that this is government run. Like this ain't a private entity. Like you could say like some rogue promoter maybe just have an issue with whatever, and like this is the government. So like if the government
You ain't pay the bill.
ain't paying the license but then turn around and say they care about creatives, like how you could convince us that? Like how you could convince us? Like I don't understand. It'll weird me out. Some of the things I just see I did hear some arguments. For instance, last night, right? You weren't there for Friends performance, but during a point at their performance, right? They were talking about how, you know, there were certain songs that were released during the pandemic that now, you know, kind of you could remember what was happening when that song was released, right? Yeah. And the horse say, like the Afrobeat song or whatever. Right? They play the song. They play another Afrobeat song. They play like 3 songs, right? So these people's songs play big in prime time performances, thing. They're somewhere in Ghana, Nigeria, hanging out. But so how are they supposed to be compensated? And then the arguments about like, but we don't pay the artists then, what we gotta pay this license.
Because that's how it works.
No, because the guys, you're paying for the performance, right? But what about the musicians who work on the song? What about the songwriters? What about that's who the money going to you?
True.
A lot of time the performers don't write the song. If it so happen that the performers write the song, well, hey, great. That's 2 sets of work you do, so you get paid twice. It's 2 sets of work you do.
Indeed.
Like, thank God for the talent that you have to be able to do that.
Bye.
But that's not generally how music works. You have songwriters and people who perform songs that were written by other people.
And they want the money. Jerusalem is what you were trying to describe?
Yeah.
You could try.
But what I'm saying
Valiant
is,
effort.
but it really does boggle my mind that this is still a thing, by like
It is.
like yeah. And let it not be lost to me that I'm sitting in a radio station and no radio stations in St. Kitts compliant. None. Including the government radio station. Including the government radio station, then turn on and say, we care about the creatives, look at, we have a whole ministry about it. Ministry what? Please, none, the government don't pay. They don't pay.
So this is
No, because
I understand.
it's ridiculous now. Like, it's just like, convince, please, fool me one more time. Fool me one more
Really,
time.
what governments does do though? I'm just
Right,
saying.
is that
I'm
thing?
just saying.
Is that thing. But, hey, hopefully they get it sorted
I
out.
think you echo the money. That's how.
No, but Jade, I am telling you. You see, this is and like, look, you see, like Jamaica, Trinidad. I know artists who confirm with the CMO that this this particular event is licensed before they perform, you know. Because they're giving the sheets. As a matter of fact, what's supposed to happen is the artists present a list of the songs that they perform to the CMO, you know. So that way they have a log. The DJs print out the Serato playlist, present it to, so you know the songs that were performed at the event. Like that's what happened in the rest of the world. You know? Like here is just like I run June.
Run June.
Run June, bye.
When music, yes.
Like I know artists who literally have.
You think it's for lack of education on how Echo works?
For how much years now?
Not talking about other regular people, man. Me talking about music fest.
No, but I mean saying like, but it's years now. Echo here trying to do this thing. Like, I don't know. But my thing is, even if you don't understand, I want to believe that the fact that it came up, that's the time when you would have learned, right? So you're still you can't keep claiming ignorance. Like how many times you can claim ignorance? You know what I mean? You could claim ignorance once, twice. Like you could claim ignorance for a year, but 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're still talking about education. Like you ain't gonna learn again. like Google it.
Google exists for a reason.
Bye. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But until the artists them decide, hey, watch it, if you ain't listen, we ain't coming, who knows what's gonna happen.
True.
Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? Lost that caller. Oh, someone else is trying to get in on the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT.
Good morning. Here, let me crack up. I'm cracking up. Lord of mercy. Well, you mean to say, they hear ticket to give me free. They still a climb out. They should come to you, put them on the bench for a little 2 hours. And what is that? They hear my free ticket out there, give me about a climb out.
We ain't here neither, so how much? We ain't here neither. So you tell us how much. How much was given away? Because they ain't hear it and we ain't hear it.
Jade, every year, every time music press, they don't give us a ticket. But I believe the guy stopped now because 1 year through the sell my peanuts. I used to go up there and sell like people more in the line, right? I wasn't going in, I was just selling them. I see people who hustle the ticket, all them little bad boys take them and was taking them and selling them over again. But wow, now they're kind of mark them. So select you a Women FM person, you must have gone with these 2 people, Women FM and so on. Then got them all for people to sell them back. Yeah.
I was selling the compliment.
Yeah,
I got you.
selling the complimentary.
I got you.
So what happened? Bye.
So you went last night?
That's
I know you tell me look out for you in the short shots. I was looking for you, you know.
I said I like how the layout it breathtaking.
Oh.
I like to see them. I drove around there. Before it began, but after 6. And I really like how it laid out for you.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
You know, applause for that. And the inside, it's nice. And what I noticed, there's a place there by the stand. A stand there when you're going up to where you used to go to walk up to get deliver your tickets. I noticed the thing was further in the vendors. And they bring them more out to the film. That was nice. Unique, what's so unique? Whoever come up with the idea, it was well done.
Nice.
The fantasy were well done.
Nice.
And that was good that they send up parking round in the other street because if there's emergency, you'll be paging this person. And you can't find it, they don't in the music and the boogie don't about it. And next thing, well, who win the election is winner. Who win? The Green?
Opposition.
You ready?
Opposition, is it?
No, I think Keith Mitchell is.
Yeah, I think.
Green.
Let me check.
One was green and one was red.
Well, one of the 2 colors win. One of the 2 colors win.
I like how you say what happened, Jada. You see how they got me. You see how they And if you notice the new recently, they say our voters list pack on a ram pack. That must be coming from Sunny Point of the fella. They say ram pack. 50,000 one went 993 there.
We are a growing country, so that wouldn't be shocking.
You know what I heard? You got a place on the name The Wall. It's a legend. Not too much. Monday, either Sunday, Monday night, a boat became in there. And some people, 2 people and all, run left the backpack. And what happened? They gone, they run up in the bushes, right? Yes, and it's alleged every Saturday there's a set of Spanish people are coming here. They're playing more overload than before. If it's 20 used to come, all of 40 are come now. It's alleged, right? So I'm putting the station in problem. You have a good day. You all enjoy the rest of the Friday. I love you, love you, love you.
All right, take care. Take care.
So allegedly, they're bringing in Spanish.
There's no saying it's going to sink because the amount of people coming in. And, oh my gosh. But, that's one thing that I promised to mention today as it relates to the Music Fest. When I actually walked in general admission yesterday just to kind of get the feel for like what it's like for the what they see and all of that, as opposed to going into one of the artist gates. So I come up and there is I think they're calling it the I Flamboyant Artist Village. That I thought was really cool. Big up Carla one time. She pulled me over. She was like, "Come see." So that, and there's a lot of local. There's a lot of local
soaps and all of these things.
Soaps.
Yes.
The pottery was there.
I love it.
Jewelry and that kind of thing. And I was surprised at the prices. It was like $10 and stuff for a bracelet.
I go over there and give me some soap, boy.
Yeah.
Some face soap.
Yeah,
that good turmeric soap.
Oh, Jade. I need it.
Yeah, my God. I'm going to see if I can start this out.
Okay. Lovely. But yeah, so guys, make sure when you enter into the festival, not only like check out the vendors, for the food stalls, and of course go and support the bars and the food stalls, but also some of our local artisans at the little craft area that's there. Like I said, there was really big discounts and things. I couldn't believe some of the prices that I was being told for the stuff that was there.
I saw people asking about the merch.
Oh,
it will be on sale soon.
Yeah, guys. So big up. We'll let you know exactly where you could get your Silly Season shirts.
Silly Season have a lot to say.
But Silly Season got a lot to say.
Mouthfuls upon mouthfuls. Yeah. So don't worry, you can get a nice little merch.
A scholar.
Yes, a wise man indeed.
Yes.
I had a little mini gear, right?
Run it quick.
Y'all have an issue with when local artists perform early, right? But when an international artist performs early, y'all in there. So why if y'all upset? Or why if y'all feel away?
No, if you want to see the local artists, then
come
just go.
Early.
Just go.
Y'all paying anyway? Why y'all can't come to the festival on the time that it starts?
Jade, I went there to walk and meet people in there. There's people
in
there.
Should
like,
be?
Yeah. Then I walk out there missing nothing.
Duh.
A man there. I walk in, going minding my own business, trying to get myself acclimated and stuff. I just see this man ball up. Bailey! I'm like, wow, when I look around. What music, man? I said, sir, it's 5:15.
Like, give us
the
a
show
chance.
starts at 7.
I know you're very early, but listen, some people ready, but some people, I don't understand the whole concept of, the local act shouldn't be given early times. I watched Yellow Man at 7 o'clock one time at Music Festival.
Turn up.
So y'all just come early. Just come to the fest at the time. Y'all have a problem being places at the time you're supposed to be there? I don't get it.
Yeah. You see, no, I didn't have a gear, but Miss Dorothy Rose, good morning. Says she's watching from Florida, and thank you, we appreciate it. She made a comment and said, They need to bring the gospel night at music festival. We have Christians all over. No, that is a huge issue of mine, eh? A huge issue of
The
mine.
Christians all over?
No.
Oh, give me say.
But the reason there is not a gospel night is a direct result of the discouraging Christians by the churches themselves. When they had the gospel night, there was huge movements to not there was a lot of encouragement for the Christians to stay home. Don't go nowhere.
Imagine
You
that.
can't mix the holy and the unholy. I hear all of the talk. Churches, preachers would literally stand up and chastise people on the night of music fest. Let them
Imagine
know,
that.
if you go into this place, you ain't a Christian. I telling you, I hear it for myself.
Why men a Christian? Because I'm going to listen to Christian music.
You go into an ungodly place.
Y'all let's go to ungodly places all the time.
The
Y'all
supermarket.
just don't get catch.
The supermarket.
They mean what I mean, man. Y'all just not seen there. But y'all there. I mean, God see y'all.
Gawain, let me tell y'all something. People are saying, oh, financial. Wait, it's the Christian community itself. Why there is no gospel night.
Imagine getting a whole night for yourself and then y'all not going.
It is the Christian community.
Why would they keep doing a gospel night when y'all not going?
And let me tell y'all something else. Too, because this is something that does affect a lot of the churches. And even when they have private people that put on gospel concerts, is the same faces going over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
The same faces going over and over and over again. People want to see these big gospel concerts and things. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what money it take to bring in Tasha Cobbs? Everybody wants to see Tasha Cobbs. You know how much money she just had?
No.
So let me tell y'all something here, right? Yes, there are persons who want to go and of course enjoy great gospel music, because I would also contend that some of the best music being made is contemporary gospel music, eh? Some of the best music being made, just from a musical standpoint, right?
You know.
Some of the best singers, some of the best musicianship, arrangements, all of that's being currently created, coming right out of the gospel sector, right? But the Christians have to support. The Christians have to support.
But I again, imagine getting your own night to see your favorite artist, and you let your pastor tell you don't go, and you still ain't because your pastor says so.
Well, I mean, that's the shepherd, Jade. No, I don't know if they feel he can come back now, but I can tell her he not come back.
Right off that.
What might happen is you might get a gospel act dropping somewhere on a Saturday night or something. And we've seen that happen.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen where there's been gospel acts on the festival, right? But I'll tell you something, it's like, I don't know. Let me put it this way. I don't know if we have grown enough to really welcome that. It's going to become unprofitable because the churches themselves were telling the people not to go. I was there, Jade.
And you listen, I'm to that station one.
Watch ya. My mother does listen to the show, so I can't say everything. But
More than mommy.
I can tell you something, right? Since I had an interest in these things since I was very young. I remember I used to, when I should have been in school, I was in sound checks. I was in sound check.
You better hush. You know,
One-
you're too
no.
big to get.
Yeah, it's true. Me into big to get licks. But let me tell you something, right? One of the best things could happen to me.
Was going to that.
No, was moving the music festival from Fort Thomas down in the park. Quick jump out the wall. A quick jump out the school wall in sound check. A quick jump out the wall.
When you're supposed to be in school, look what you're doing.
And the funny thing is I know, like I travel, like, obviously I travel around, everybody knows what I do and so on. And there are people who still to this day remember the fact that they met, like the first time they met me was like on a music fest sound check when I should have been in school. They said, but you was going to do this. We know you was going to do this.
Clearly, your path was written early. Because the man the man jumping over school, they want to miss school, to go do nothing bad. The man just want to listen to music. Want to be around music.
No, but remember by this time I was already in bands and I was already playing music. So this was already like something I was.
Well, technically, I went to school.
Yeah.
They went to school, man.
Yeah. I started playing in bands when I was like 9. Gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
Gospel music.
Hey, gospel music is some of the best music in the world. You know?
Yes,
I
because.
stop
Anyway. Good morning, caller. You're live at Island T. What's up? What's up, caller? Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Your program is always interesting. But do you know, I'm not going to call the church, nor am I going to call the person with the juice steel band in a church. And when that was done, the members and them went on terrible. They're introducing this devilish instrument. I don't know what's a devilish instrument.
Well,
I don't have one like this into the church. And even up to now, it's still not accepted in the church. Mackie is an instrument. It's like taking up a trumpet and playing calypso on it. I always look at calypso as long as it's not vulgar. It's like I always ask somebody, what is so wrong with the calypso? Suppose I intend to read the calypso like a poem. Is it wrong? I add music to it, but it becomes wrong. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I cannot understand for the life of me why people have this problem. Not your vulgarity and sound and bad words and as we for better term using some of them and do this to women and so on. I have a problem with that. But just natural poetry put in music form where you have to dance it, I don't see anything wrong with that. But the steel band up to now is not fully accepted in some churches.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as usual, allowed to hear you guys. Good program.
All right. Thank you so much. I know that was a thing for sure. Even drums and stuff like that, more contemporary instruments. And this is the thing for me, right? I don't believe that all churches need to do that. Like I don't believe like something wrong if your church don't have drums and keyboards and them thing. Like that's no. The thing for me is that people go to church for different reasons. People have different ways in which they worship, right? So I think there's going to be churches and there's going to be different styles of worship that appeal to different people. So it doesn't matter like, if this church doesn't have drums, then all of a sudden it's like they're somehow backwards and whatever. No. People who like that certain style of worship, that would appeal to them. My thing is just like when you start somehow having this sense of superiority, because them churches them sideway churches. Them sideway because they look
and
at them.
That's very strict. Anyway, you know what? Me never get into this.
Anyway, we got fella on the live there who was one of them who he near talking smartly, but he's one of them who introduced the rhythm to the gospel music thing,
Yeah, man, I see him,
Yeah, you watch him right there.
Yeah.
Watch him right there.
I know you see
They
him.
start to say, and that was a thing too. That was a big thing. Watch it, when they start using the rhythm box and making rhythm, they want every Raskelly kind of Christian. That was a big thing.
Yeah,
And people vex. People
trying
vex.
to heathen out the church with
I'm
your
like,
street music.
And I'm like, how many times we gonna go over this? Like, how many times? It was the same thing. I remember when reggae, when gospel reggae became a thing. It was like, oh my God. All of a sudden now, that is a mainstay. Then you had the soca come in. Soca gospel is an issue.
Dancehall soca.
No, all of a sudden now.
I mean dancehall
because
gospel,
they're using a cowbell in the thing. All of a sudden it's, oh my God, them they no Christian.
Listen, some of y'all Christians got way too many rules and regulations, but want people to join.
But Jade, half
cut it out, please.
A lot of it too. A lot of it is the people on the outside too. The people who ain't even in the church. It's like, but you don't even go to church. What you have to pay for?
Let people have fun and enjoy things and worship in ways that are beneficial to them.
Instruments have no religion, and music was created by God. So I mean, I just don't understand. And like, if you like, but anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Indeed. Anyway,
Anyway, then what we're talking about. We're talking about people enjoying the music festival.
that's what we're talking. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes.
And and again, and of course, since I mentioned everybody, it would be remiss of me not to mention the fact that Sugar Band closed down the night. I think they did a great set, and it cemented the point that New Vibes is a band that for generations though, it feels like has music and have been consistently putting out music. Mr. Mention, I just sing Mr. World Praises, I just sing Jazzbo, Smiley and Ruckus, even Chubby praises, right? Mr. Mention, I don't think anybody could question like his musical contribution. But the set that they put together spanned music from the 80s come right up. Right? So I think they did a really good job closing out the music festival as well. So yeah, I think night one in the books. Of course, people seem to have issues with the linking between the artists and stuff like that. That's always going to be an issue once that is extended. People want the non-stop action.
But y'all also have to remember that these artists have bands, and the bands need to change over. So give them a little time. Enjoy the little DJs, man. Enjoy the DJs.
Right, people thank you.
I know, friend.
Yeah, trust me. But night one in the books. Night two, getting ready to kick off this evening. And of course, there is a slew of our very own homegrown talent that's going to be on the show tonight. So I want to also encourage people to go out and support. It ain't just good enough to go to the festival and be there when our homegrown artists performing, and there ain't no time to go by in a bar and go sit down.
Right, that's so disrespectful. Well, y'all taking bathroom breaks and the good local artists on.
No, and not only that,
Come on,
and I tell you something. I can tell you something though. A lot of there might be people who the music might not appeal to you, but whether it appeals to you or not, you can't deny good music. And a lot of these artists have good music. Like whether it is right up your alley or a little bit down the boulevard, it's good. It's good music all around. So go.
And you're at a music festival.
You think?
You are at a music festival. I don't know where y'all think y'all going, but it is a music festival for the people in the back who don't understand.
Saying this music festival is an interesting thing,
But we spoil here, as nowhere else you could get a lineup packed like this for $135 EC nightly.
Dude, we talk about how much people paying to go one night like Coachella and Rolling Loud and say.
And y'all paying $135 EC,
$700 so US a ticket, yeah. 700 US.
Clearly, we're grossly undercharging.
Right, but yeah, guys, go on out, support all the acts, enjoy yourself.
Safely.
Yeah, of course. And I think that we really have to be thankful for the fact that we are able. We actually able to go out and experience these things again. It's been 2 years since we haven't been able to.
2 long years, boy.
Yeah, and I think that's not for me. That's not lost on me. So I'm going to at least try and enjoy as much as possible what's happening and be thankful that it's able to happen.
Indeed.
Right? You got to come to one point that you started to wonder if we'll ever be able to do this again.
Ever be able to go outside? The world was looking bleak. We had to stay inside and not enjoy music, not enjoy friends.
Imagine me in my living room watching a virtual show, asking my brother to come mash me so I could mash me so I could feel like I'm in the middle of the crowd and say, boy, I miss that. I miss that pain. I miss you scuffing up my white Air Force Ones.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, we're back out, so make sure you enjoy it, man.
Yes. But it is time to take a break because when we come back, we have a special guest that we are going to speak to today. So stick and stay. We'll be right back with more ILNT right here on Win Media SKN.
healthy. Reduced sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors. Drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy. Drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It is Friday, June 24th, and as my lovely co-host mentioned just before the break, we are actually joined by a very special person. He's here via Zoom. Jade, I'll let you do the honors because you're obviously very excited about this particular interview today.
Yes, I am. We have Gordon Marcus joining us today, and he can be called a plant whisperer. He loves outside, he loves nature, and we are going to talk to him a bit about his book and how we as well can flex our green thumb. And the book is literally called Grow.
How to grow, right? I think it's how to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
We're doing good. A bit tired, but other than that, we're doing good, man.
Awesome. I know the feeling. I also am tired, but it's a blessed day. You know, every day is a blessed day. So thankful to be here.
For sure. Well, I know that you have over, I don't know how long you've actually been involved in social media and growing that particular area of your life, but I know you've been involved in that and really just highlighting plants, greenery, and of course you've now also written a book. But for our listeners who may not be so familiar with what you have been doing, let us know a bit about you.
All right. Well, my name is Marcus Bridgewater. And I am a CEO and founder of Choice Forward. I'm the author of How to Grow. I am a person who likes to make positive choices, and I would consider myself a plant enthusiast. So all of those things keep me very, very busy. But the short end of it is I'm just a guy trying to share kindness, patience, and positivity on a large scale so that we can better our mind, body, and spirit in a way that is holistic.
All right, but I mean, that point you made about spreading positivity, it really comes down, what I'm hearing is a conscious decision as it relates to your lifestyle, right? And the decisions you're making. Has that been a journey for you to get to that point? Is this something that would have come out of your environment? Is there an experience that would have led you down this particular path?
Yes, actually, I have a lot of family on the island. So, shout out to St. Kitts, the Huggins, the Bridgewaters, the Blakes, the Esdales. That's my family.
For sure.
Growing up here in America, removed from family, adopted into another family, you go through a lot of different experiences that are challenging, right? I was the kid who had a funny accent no matter where I went. I didn't talk like everybody in the island. I didn't talk like everybody in America. I didn't talk like anybody at school. So no matter where I went, I kind of stood out. And so as a result, I had to spend time actually biting my ego and learning to listen to the people around me. And the more I did that, and the more I found myself able to meld with different types of people, regardless of who they looked like, what they sounded like, how much money they had. I found that, there's a community out there of people that exist just right in front of you, right around you, but we're not accessing or tapping into that community. So you start thinking about why. Well, one of the things that across all over the place in all the religions I've studied, mind, body, spirit. Well, in today's time, that translates into mental health, physical fitness, spiritual awareness. But again, why aren't we bettering these things? And the reason why we're not bettering these things is choice. We're not making the choice to do it. We're making choices to focus on something else. So why are we doing that? And so that thought process, one to the other, really high level conversations with spiritual leaders and hearing consistency, again, regardless of what they look like, regardless of how much money they had, all those things measured up for me to come to this place of understanding on multiple layers. One, we can't make anything grow. We can only foster environments where things want to grow. So we need to do a better job of nurturing our environment and nurturing community instead of trying to tell people how they need to be. That was the one part. And then the other part, in order to do that, you got to check yourself. And how do you check yourself? Well, you make sure all of your choices make sense.
Right. I mean, just the path that you're on, because I'm sure it's constant revelations and learning as we move forward, have
Absolutely.
really I would suspect, and I'm hearing it come out, influenced your views on what you're now into in terms of being a plant enthusiast, right?
Yes, in some way. Mm-hmm.
And of course, your book is called How to Grow. Tell us a bit about the book. What it's about, and how it came about.
Okay, so to give you the arc of the story of how the book came about, you got to talk about how Garden Marcus came about, and then that's also how Choice Forward came to be. So right. Choice Forward is the company, right? And Choice Forward came to be because I was sharing thoughts that I had, and my co-founder and business partner said, hey, you really got to think about these things that you're sharing and consider sharing them with more people. I hadn't done that. I hadn't really considered trying to share them on a really large scale. But when she made me aware of how important they were to her and to some of the other people I had been teaching, I had to reconsider. So we started a company, Choice Forward. And a year and a half after we had started the company, in December of 2019, a former student and now really good friend said, hey, listen, you should share your essence on TikTok. And I was like, wait, why and how is that going to be helpful? And what had ended up happening was, Dana had, in her great genius, encouraged me to change my Instagram from a bunch of numbers to Garden Marcus, because I spent so much time in my garden, and I love plants. I love gardening.
Right.
And the plants had been energizing me. I had been working as a private at a private preparatory as a technical director and a building supervisor, site administrator, and I was spending 70-hour weeks, 90-hour weeks working.
Oh, wow.
So I was exhausted, man, exhausted. And what ended up happening was I needed some way to recharge, but I wasn't getting it anywhere except for my garden. So when Dana suggested I call myself Garden Marcus, it just made sense to me. I was like, okay, sure. I trust you. I don't really know much about Instagram, but I also know that I love my garden. And so those are the only things I've been sharing. So that's what we did. That took off and became something much larger than myself. And what ended up happening outside of that was I've always been a thinker and a philosopher, someone who's seeing the parallels in life on the big scale and on the small scale. So spending time in my garden was a really good mind exercise, allowing me to really channel some cosmic and universal thoughts and apply them in ways that were easily digestible. Well, it turns out sharing that with other people turned out to be a really powerful tool for connection and bonding. And that's really where How to Grow came from, because I was reached out to by some of the largest publishers in the world to say, hey, share your thoughts on a large scale in a medium that is going to last for centuries. And I'm very, very proud of the work that me and the team has put in to create How to Grow. It's a book about nurturing yourself, and you nurture yourself through the garden. So the tagline is nurture your garden, nurture yourself, because the more we spend time seeing how we are related to plants, the more we spend time working on our mind, our body, and our spirit, the more we grow. And life inside of all of us, inside of all things, just wants to grow. But we as human beings are getting in the way. So how do we grow? We acknowledge the different parts of ourselves and make sure that we're not getting in the way of that growth.
So your book is really about persons being able to better themselves and grow into the best version of themselves, and how that process takes place.
Absolutely. One of the things I like to tell people, right, is that just like every plant, we have roots, we have stem, and we have leaves. Well, the person has a mind, a body, and a spirit. We can't always see all the parts of the plant, just like we can't always see all the parts of the person, but we know that they are there and we know they exist. So it's in our best interest to nurture all the parts of the plant, just like we must nurture all the parts of ourselves if we want to grow into something that is beautiful.
All right, so right there, I think I've now gotten the premise of the book.
And I feel like a lot of people could relate to that. To be honest, I feel like this book is so timely, especially coming out of a pandemic where people were losing and finding themselves, and it became very difficult for you to just live in that space comfortably. A lot of people weren't accustomed to being by themselves all the time, being around family member, locked in with them. A lot of people weren't able to deal with that in a healthy way. So having a book like this come out now, I think that's going to help a lot of people.
I feel really blessed to have been a part of this project and to be the person sharing it. It's incredibly humbling. There's a real need right now for the human being and humanity everywhere to focus on life and to focus on the worth of people. I talk about some really large concepts in this book. We talk about life versus the world. We talk about value versus worth. We talk about progress versus maintenance. These are some really easy terms to say, but when you really think about what they mean and how they influence our well-being, I think that we're at a critical point where we can take this information and utilize it to redirect the trajectory of our future in one that is more wholesome.
But without going into detail, because of course we want to encourage people to go out and purchase the book, but what are some of the points that come out in the book and in the writings that you believe persons can easily implement to achieve some of these improvements and achieve these levels of growth that we know to be possible?
Well, we talk about mind, body, and spirit. We talk about mental health, physical fitness, spiritual awareness. And these things are the integral parts of ourselves. But I think a lot of us have placed value over the worth. So what the book really does is it goes through all of these broad concepts, and it allows you as the person to see where you are getting in your own way. So we address hobbies, habits, and routines. We do that through the lens of mental health, physical fitness, and spiritual awareness, asking you to ask yourself questions at critical points about who is your community and why, what are you doing to engage with your environment, and how are you acting on sustaining those things. And a lot of these concepts, right, can seem like they are out there, but when you take it and you put it in the lens of a plant and you say, hey, this plant's growing, and I learned by watching this plant that I too can grow through the adversity if I simply try X or Y, it leads to a larger understanding. And so some of the bigger concepts in the book that I think have been really powerful for people, growth takes patience, but you also need persistence. What does that mean, right? And so these are thoughts that we all feel, that we all know, but sometimes you need that gentle encouragement to make sure that you're on the right track. And I think that this book will provide you that reassurance that you don't need to fall victim to the bullying that is the hustle and bustle of the 21st century.
And like you're saying, like it's not overnight process either, right?
No,
and
no.
recognizing that there's work that needs to be put in, just as when you nurture the environment to allow a plant to grow. I think you go ahead.
One of the things I like to tell people, not just because of the book, but just in general, is that every choice you make is a seed planted in the forest of our future. So we need to be more conscious of the choices we make today and be deliberate in planting seeds of love, kindness, patience, and positivity. But how do you do that? Well, you do that through strategic processes and routines, addressing your hobbies, habits, and your routines, making sure that you're being deliberate and you're being persistent. And again, the book goes through all of these concepts step by step in the way that I think is the most gentle guide that you can have in terms of making sure you take care of your entire self, mind, body, and spirit.
I believe that what you really are advocating for as well is something that I feel is lacking, and that is a sense of self-awareness and introspection, which from what you're saying is necessary for this type of growth to occur, right? And sometimes I feel like you're saying, you're talking about choices, we don't have that outlook, that mindset that hey, the decisions that we make now, have ripple effects going forward.
Yep.
Right? And it always amazes me somehow we feel like there's no consequences to some of these decisions that we make.
I think people have started forgetting or just completely ignoring that you can't just do things because you want to.
Right. Or not expect that there's some consequence.
Like there are consequences to every action. And
we share this space.
And people are just going through life deciding, you know what? I feel like I want to do this, I'm just going to do it. I don't care who I hurt. I don't care how this affects me down the road. And that's not a good way to live.
I agree completely. And I think that this is a result of lack of community. Truthfully, I think that the more we are a part of community, the more we are nurtured by community, the more we genuinely have respect for all those in the community, not just family, not just friends, not just the people who look like me, but literally every single living entity that shares resources within my vicinity is a part of my community. And when I start to appreciate that each one of those entities adds to the betterment of my being, adds to the resource pool of my life, I start to act with a certain kind of dignity. I start to act with a certain kind of respect and awareness. But when I don't have that, sure, it's like I'm just playing a video game. I'm just in there by myself. I'm out for myself, looking out for myself, and nothing else matters. But that's, again, I think a defense mechanism, a genuine response to lack of community. And I think community started to really go away in the generation right before ours. It was with mass media and mass marketing and all of the mass things that started to happen. I think a lot of us stopped knowing our neighbors.
Yeah.
And in not knowing your neighbors, you're disconnected from your community that much more.
Yeah, there seems to have been a real growth in the concept of individualism, and you kept saying this word self just now as you spoke, and there really does seem to be a focus on self a lot, and it seems as though that is the direction that society has kind of been moving in. We seem to be becoming more and more disconnected. And so, yes, there must, just like with everything else, there must be consequences to that as well. And I think what you're describing is exactly that. And perhaps what should I say? The tenets of your book, I think, really seem to speak to what is needed to try and bring back some of that community, so that we could see, the positivity, the love, and all that stuff grow. And it's seriously lacking. I don't think anybody could deny that at this particular point in time.
No, and we see it all over the place. If there was something to leave the audience with, it would be what my shirt stands for, and I want to make sure that this metaphor goes as far and wide as possible. I truly believe we need to plant more seeds of love, kindness, patience, and positivity so that we can have more wholesome roots. Wholesome roots will lead to trees of prosperity, and trees of prosperity will yield fruits of success that we can all enjoy. But currently, we're planting more seeds of hate, animosity, anger, disapproval, judgment, and those are yielding trees of disconnection and judgment that are then yielding fruits of toxicity that we're all being forced to eat. And I think that when we are more conscious of the seeds we plant through the choices we make, we'll see more wholesome roots and we'll have a better future ahead of us.
I think you may definitely be onto something there, and
Indeed, yes.
really love the fact that you have been putting this message out there, and that people have been responding. I think people really do have a need and a longing for this type of messaging, because they recognize there's a lack or something that needs to be addressed, even if they might not know exactly what it is. I think that's maybe where your Garden Marcus, your social media and stuff that you've been putting out has really been resonating with people all across the world. And for people who are interested, in getting the book, where can they get it? And of course, if they're interested in hearing more about your thoughts, your messaging, your process, how can they also do that?
So you can check me out on all kinds of social media. I'm on TikTok at Garden Marcus. I'm on Instagram at Garden_Marcus. I'm on YouTube at Choice Forward, because that's our company. You can also check out the Instagram at Choice Forward. But if you go to gardenmarcus.com, there are links to literally everything. And as far as the book is concerned, there's also links through gardenmarcus.com to get the book. But the book is available everywhere books are sold, at least here in the States. So if you go online, I'm sure that you'll be able to find some way to get the book. I know Amazon has the book. I know that Barnes & Noble has the book. Books A Million has the book. So I know a lot of those major bookstores have the book. So, but really, if you go and check out the links in my bio or the links on gardenmarcus.com, you'll see the book is available in most places books are sold. I can't. Looks like I lost you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I was saying that there's actually people, here listening to the show who have already said that they're interested in getting the book, and they're gonna go out and get it. And so again, the message is definitely one that resonates with people, one that I think people are interested in hearing and learning about. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually very proud to know that you have, Kittitian heritage as well. And you're doing
Yeah.
great things. And just really want to like big you up and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I really appreciate being able to come home, so to say, and share some love. I look forward to when I can actually get out to St. Kitts. I have, in my last several trips to St. Kitts, I've been seeing a need for composting, man. So I really want to get out there and like utilize the fertile soil that is St. Kitts to encourage more growth. I think more people, including all of you all, should be trying to grow more things at your home, in the fields, encourage more of the youth and the elderly to get outside, take their shoes off, put your feet on the ground, and like, let's reconnect with the planet.
Funny you said that. I actually usually end the show by telling people to go outside and touch some grass or hug a tree because they need to.
Fantastic. Yes, ma'am.
But man, it's been amazing talking to you. Really appreciate you again taking the time out to just hang out with us right here on Island Tea. Talk to our sippers, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are gonna have amazing takeaways from the stuff that you've said today. I know for me for sure have learned a lot, and you've really given me some things to ponder and think about. So thanks
thank
again.
you.
Appreciate it. And hopefully we hook up when you get here to St. Kitts.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. I hope you all have a blessed day.
You as well.
All right, man. Vijay, that was cool.
Yes, I knew you would be impressed.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is right up your alley.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I believe that we have to begin looking at ways to address some of the things that are happening that we know need to be addressed. A lot of times what's happening, we just go, oh, that's how it is, that's how society is, that's where we at,
No,
that's
we gotta
just
fix it.
that's just the generation we at now. And instead of doing that, I think sometimes, again, I keep saying what we need to do is really look at determine the type of society that we want, and then move towards it strategically and consciously.
Indeed.
Like a lot of times we just kind of floating, and you float and fall off the cliff.
Yeah, man. Gravity works.
Yeah.
works.
So, hearing about these strategies and tenets that really kind of lead to us improving the quality of life that we live, right? Not just like from a financial standpoint, but literally the relationships we have, our mindsets.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. So I'm really happy, and then of course very proud to know that he's really a son of the soil. And
So much family. He got more family here than me.
Yeah, Jade, they man call out
4 big families.
the only family missing is like the Bass and the Warners.
Bye.
And the Williams. Don't forget the Williams. I didn't think he said Williams.
No, I don't think he said.
But if you had said Williams, then
Listen, are you sure you don't want his cousins? I'm positive.
definitely. But guys, we actually gonna jump out on that note and wrap up the show today. Guys, it's Friday and it's music festival weekend, so we really want to wish you guys a safe weekend.
Most
importantly safe, but of course filled with enjoyment, good vibes.
Yeah, man, go have some fun.
Yeah, just kind of connect with people.
Yeah.
And I really looking forward to the sense of community that things like music festival bring out.
Yeah, come brunch with us tomorrow. We're going to be at Fairview. Come brunch with Top Off tomorrow. at
Yes,
Fairview.
there's brunching
Yes.
tomorrow happening in the morning.
Eat some food, mingle with your friends, listen to some music.
You go to Music Fest, you go home, you get a nice shower, and you head out to...
But they could take a nap.
Yeah.
Brunch starts 11.
Yeah, take a little nap, and then
Yeah.
head out. That's perfect time. You just get enough energy.
I'm telling
You just pour. You just...
To put you through Saturday.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But guys, please, remember,
Most importantly.
learn from the losses of others. You don't have to go and repeat them, guys. You don't have to go and repeat them. Oh, Jay, do you want to tell them what's coming up next?
Yes, there will be a music festival press conference literally right after Island Tea. So we're going to get out of here so we can bring that to you live on Win FM. Stick and stay.
Stick and stay, guys. But yeah, and I didn't even thank everybody. But of course, guys, I always like to let you guys know that I appreciate you so much for joining us here on the show. No matter the medium that you joined us on, whether you join us on one of our digital platforms, YouTube, Facebook, winmediaskn.com, TuneIn, Periscope,
wherever you catch it,
Twitch,
wherever you drink your tea.
Yes, wherever you drink your tea, we appreciate you. And of course, guys, the radio, those of you who log on 98.9 FM.
Is that Sean Paul? Listen, come up
That is Sean Paul. Yeah, so guys, the Music Fest press conference has just begun. So we're gonna say bye-bye, bid you adieu. Please remember, spend more time living your content than posting it. Stop watching the music festival through your phone screen.
Please.
Show your hands
Actually
up in the air.
look up.
And use your eyes. Use your eyes directly. And of course, guys, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not